Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists nurse practitioners with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. So today I'm going to talk about nurse practitioner supervision and or collaboration agreement review. So if a nurse practitioner contacts me and says, hey, I have this collaboration agreement that I'm being asked to sign or I need to sign and file with the board, what are some things that I need to think about and some potential red flag areas. So let's just talk kind of practically, just nuts and bolts, like a little background on collaboration agreements. So there are some states that do not require any kind of supervision of nurse practitioners. They're completely autonomous and you do not need a collaboration agreement. So first you need to identify if you are in one of those states or not. Now, if you are in a state where they are necessary, then you need to understand a few things. One, what that means is wherever you're working, you have to have a physician who is going to be essentially a supervisor or a collaborator, and then there will be responsibilities between the physician and the nurse practitioner. And so first you need to think about what are the supervision requirements, like what is absolutely necessary. Do they have to be on site? Do they have to be available by telephone? Like how is the actual structure between the NP and the physician and the rules of the board? Now, if you're in a state where collaboration is required, they're going to have a whole bunch of rules in there, the code, the statutes, the laws, whatever you want to call it. Each state, it might be a little bit different, but there will be an entire section, usually within the, each board has their own section under professions. And so you need to look into the rules and see exactly what's necessary. Nearly every board will have a section on their website that kind of goes through here are kind of the requirements for the nurse practitioner, and many of them have model agreements as well. I've been contacted by plenty of physicians who want me to draft a collaborator agreement for them because perhaps they're hiring an NP, and I'm happy to do that, but most of the time it would make the most sense to just simply use the form that the board has on file, and therefore if there is some kind of concern or ambiguity down the road, you can say, look, I used the exact form that you offered and filled out everything that you asked me to fill out, and therefore there aren't any issues. Scope of practice obviously changes state to state. There are some things an NP can do in one state by themselves when they can't do in another. So it's not generally going to list that in the collaboration agreement of like NP can do this and the physician needs to be this involved in these types of encounters or cases, that type of thing. But any licensing board is going to have a scope of practice listed for a nurse practitioner. I've done a ton of licensing board defense in my past, and certainly for nurse practitioners, one of the probably highest number of cases that I had for NPs would be scope of practice issues. Some states, it's do they have the clinical and didactic background necessary to do X procedure safely? Or in this case, it would be, do they have that clinical or didactic background, and was the physician collaborator available? What did they say? So there's a lot of responsibility on the NP to kind of know these are the things I can and can't do. And then once you have that collaboration agreement signed, the physician needs to understand what their responsibilities are as well. And then lastly, terminating the agreement. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Maybe an NP is moving on to a new job and they need to find a new collaborator. Then you need to look and see exactly, all right, what needs to be done to terminate the collaboration agreement effectively, what notice needs to be provided to the board, and then how do I kind of transition on, to a new collaborating physician. All right, those are just a few kind of things that I, talk to an NP about if they're concerned about signing a new collaboration or supervision agreement. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. If you have any questions about an employment agreement or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm. All of our information is listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, take care.